welcome back to Susan's Kitchen Corner, and we're gonna make dim sum today, or the same day because I'm on a roll. Figure I'd get two done in one day. So what we got going on here is the dough. We got 1 cup of boiling water to 2 cups of flour. So you gotta be careful here. We're gonna pour the boiling water directly into the flour. There's no baking soda or baking powder in the flour. Let's turn this off. So we're gonna get a yellowish, let me mix this in, so just be really careful and mix that in. Now it's gonna get kind of rubbery, but just kind of work it in. Over here, we're gonna put, I got some leftover meat from another dinner, so I'm heating that up. I thawed it out on the inverter in the microwave. And then now what I'm doing is, just to break it apart, putting it in a little pan, added some water to the bottom so it doesn't burn, stirring it around is perfectly fine. The water will absorb. About 4 tablespoons of water, or 5 should be sufficient. The water will just make it moist, whereas if you cook it in the microwave, the water will get evaporated and it'll be turning out dry. So we can put that on low. I think that's done now. Let me touch it. Yep. Put that on low. Gotta be careful low sometimes on these burners, because low will boil after a while. So if you have a gas burner, put it on low for a while, shut it off, let it cool down, and then turn it back on low so it doesn't boil. Okay, so let me mix this in. Now mix it in with a spoon. Don't use your fingers. It's gonna have a weird yellow, kind of yellowish, rubbery look, but just keep on working them in. And then eventually what we're going to do is, when it cools down enough, we're going to knead it with our hands. Dim sum is extremely easy to make. But you can see how the dough has a different texture. It's rubbery. This is the same dough process in making Mandarin pancakes, except in Mandarin pancakes we use the sesame seed oil to put on it for flavor, and you could put a few drops into the dough and knead it in. And what's neat about this kind of dough is you can colorize it. You can use turmeric, add like 2 teaspoons of turmeric, and knead it in. Let's see if this is kneadable now. It needs me. I need it because that's tonight's dinner. So there you go. Careful, careful. Just stick your hands in it. I usually use my knuckle. It's going to be steaming. It's going to be hot. We do not want to burn ourselves. Take a little bit of the dredging flour. I don't know if you can see that. Put it onto the cutting board. Tip it upside down. Knock it. Dig it out. Whatever you got to do. Okay, there it goes. Yes, and it is hot, so you might want to wait until it cools down to do this if you have sensitive fingers. Yeah, it's on the verge. I got cooking hands. So let's knead that. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to keep the pot out, because what we're going to do is, once we get it kneaded and it's all looking nice, we're going to cut it into 4s. And we're going to put the other 3 back in, and then we're going to use one to make the part of the, let me turn this off, I'm thinking. So we got this. This is all nice and cooked. Well, not cooked, just warmed up. Okay, another tip is this. You can do it when it's cold. I didn't do it because it's cut up enough, but if you really want to utilize it when it's still frozen, put it on the cutting board a little bit at a time and mince it real small. Keep on cutting until it's real small. Then you can add smaller proportions to your dim sum or whatever you're going to use it for. That's if money's tight. So actually, let's use that knife and cut this into 4th. 1, 2, 3. Where's that lid? Put the lid on top because this is the kind of dough that will dry out really, really fast. Okay, I'm just going to keep that at an angle there. And actually, no, I'm not going to keep it at an angle. This is a dim sum cooker, and it can cook a whole bunch of different things, not just dim sum. But see how it has the openings in the bottom? If you have one of these, great. Don't panic and say, "Oh my God, what do you mean? I can't make that. I don't have one of these." Doesn't matter. You can still make it. For the people that do, you can go through the process of cutting this in a circle and stamping it out with little holes, or cut it approximate, push it down, take your knife, and everywhere there's a hole, poke it through so the steam can get through. Everyone has their own method of doing this, so if you have a better method, go for it. But I like easy. I don't like complicated. I think I have another video where someone I saw rolled it up into like a fan and then use a paper hole cutter and it went, and then when they opened it up they had like a lot of holes. Stick it in. That works for you, go for it. And so if this is hanging over, that's fine. Just make sure that the bottom one that hangs over, it's usually protected I got cats, see, protected by this thing, but just, you know, because of the flame, the gas, you never know, something might. So we're going to need one of these. And again, this is if you have it. That goes over this way. Let's go over that way. You fill it with water, and I'll show you that later. And if you don't have one of those, this is noodle dough. This is basically noodle dough. And it has a consistency. Get a pan, a big pan, put your, oh yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Roll it out like a snake. So, use two of your hands with thumbs touching as a guide. And when it's about as far as your pinkies, remember everyone has different hand sizes. That's good. So we're gonna want to. The point I was making, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't even have coffee today, and I'm going 100 miles an hour. Okay, so you want to do about from your finger to your knuckle. From your finger to your knuckle. So that's what you want these to make. So just use the first one as a guide. Oh yeah, if you don't have a dim sum cooker. Yeah, I'll get to that in just a minute. So these are all cut up now. See how we have all like little, like this, like that, like something like this and that. Anyway, get a pan, fill it with water. We're not filling it with water like all the way. Like just get the bottom about as much as you can get the tip of your finger wet. Like if you be pouring oil in, just get the very tip, right? Put the dim sum in, cover it up, and let it steam. It's the same exact thing. This is just out of the water. Okay, so what we're gonna do, squish, see that? I'm squishing it like a little squish. That's easy. That's what we're doing, is squishing them. Squish. Even makes that sound. Squish. Okay, so one more thing. Cookie tray. Take flour, dust it on the cookie tray. This is where we're going to be putting our dim sum. And where's my dim roller? There's my dim roller. And we have our dredging flour. So we're going to put one of the little dimmy summies down. We're going to roll it out. And oh, this is sticking. This is not good. Sometimes it does happen. It means there's not a little, what? Just fix it up. If you have to, take a little bit of a piece off another piece of dough and make a little band-aid, and it'll work out perfectly. And remember, you can make these bigger, you can make these smaller, whatever size you want. The bigger it is, the longer it takes to cook. And this is really sticky. I made tortillas, and should get that off. I'm fighting. Hello, come on, work with me. Okay, did it a couple times. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna have a teaspoon. Teaspoon. There I go again. Tablespoon. Get a big tablespoon. Oh yeah, onion. Get coordinated here. Put it in your hand. Hey, it's almost like the apple turnover. Put a little bit of meat. Fold it. Might want to make this a little bit bigger. Push it in if you have to, and squeeze it together. That's all it is. It's almost like a turnover, a smaller version of a turnover, but the different texture of the dough. And if you see a hole again, take another little piece off of something else and go, hey, there's a hole there, let's cover it up. And there we go, it's covered up. So that's our first one. So basically, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to put two of these together. They turned out a little bit small. I'm thinking of how would you say, my mind's set for the Mandarin pancakes. That's why I think I chopped them up like that. It's surprising how many different things have the same basis. It's like there's one set pattern to everything. And in cooking, if you learn that pattern, it's just really easy to pick that up and go, oh, Mandarin pancakes, and this and that are all basically the same technique. Boy, the edges of these are just really. My timer's going up. Okay, this one's a little bit bigger, so we can make it a little bit bigger. So big or small, get a whole tablespoon in there. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, this is better. I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger, so maybe a little bit longer than your knuckle. And there we go. Oh, see, it got a tear there. And let's take a little piece of Band-Aid from another piece, cover it up, pinch it around the edges. That does happen. And when it's cooking like this, you won't be flipping it over like turnovers. So to rename these turnover dumpling, dim sum turnovers. Get one more going. Now, I'll be right back.